Hello and welcome back to the EDC Squirrel. Got another new one today. This one is from Kizer. Now this, I'm kind of lucky to get, because from what I've seen, this one is no longer available. When I look on Amazon, I'm not seeing it there. I got mine from knifecenter.com, and from the looks of it, I might have gotten their very last one. This one is the Kizer Cutlery Justin Lundquist Feist front flipper knife. So let's get this open. If I can open the box, let's get this opened up. As you can see there, the Feist, it's got a 2.82 inch blade, S35 VN steel, carbon fiber and steel liner handle. Now these boxes from Kizer, I like. They're so neat. Passion, pride, performance, designed by Kizer. Okay, in their envelope, what do we have here? We have their, I think this is their thank you card. And then their product class. Now, from what it said in the box here, this would make it their Bladesmith Prime, or Bladesmith and Prime class, designed by their designer partners with years of experience. We've got a microfiber cloth. We'll put that back in there. We've got a really nice Kizer pouch. And that appears to be it in this box. So let's go ahead and put this away. And then you can see what I got. Now, I'll be brutally honest. When I got this, I did not know that this knife was going to be discontinued. And like I said, when I ordered it, I didn't see if how many were available. However, now that I go back to check it, I just received it today. And looking back at Knife Center's website, I am showing that it is in fact discontinued. So as far as where you'll be able to find one of these, I'm not quite sure. They may have other Vanguards available on their site with possibly different accoutrements, like, with possibly different types of scales. So far, I'm seeing out of stock on the other ones. So let's take a look here. Nice Kizer pouch. Love those. Okay, like I said earlier, this one is a 2.83 inch blade, closed length of 3.71 inches, overall length of 6.54 inches. The blade material on this knife is a CPM S35 VN stainless steel, and is also strictly a front flipper. It is a drop point blade, stonewash blade finish with a carbon fiber handle. The locking mechanism on this type of knife is I think they call this a nested liner lock, because it's got a little section cut out specifically for the liner lock. You got full length liners, steel liners in there. And the liner lock is pretty much flush with everything. Kind of got to get my nail in there to use it. Otherwise, pretty smooth. Oop. I'm still kind of in practice with front flippers, but I'm finding that I really find them to be super fidgety and fun. There we go. That liner lock nestles in perfectly beneath the blade. Let's see how that closes up. You've got the back of the blade here is beveled, giving it a nice roundish feel. And just like every Kizer before it that I've purchased, perfectly centered when nestled and folded. Now you got a partial backliner, and you have I don't know if this is a titanium pocket clip. I don't see where it says what kind of pocket clip this is. If somebody could give me the specific details of this, of whether this is a titanium pocket clip or just a stainless steel pocket clip, I don't know. But it's got a nice rounded and flat top, as opposed to those wires or the weirdly bent pocket clips you see on a lot of other knives. Unfortunately, the pocket clip is not reversible, so right hand carry only. Well, unless you want to carry it weirdly in the left pocket. Let's take a look at that blade again. And see what we got here. On one side of the blade, you've got your Kizer stamp, and then you've got S35 VN with what appears to be the model number for this knife, with a KI. And on the other side, you have Feist and then Lundquist. Now, I don't know if this is a flat or hollow ground. It appears to be a flat ground. Yeah, that's a flat ground blade to a real fine point. You got a little bit of jimping on the back that's also used to help with the front flipper. The carbon fiber is very sleek looking, very sleek and elegant looking knife shape. The overall, I would call this a pretty dressy knife. Got a small sharpening choil right up here and a little bit of jimping at the bottom. Now, there's just enough handle for me to get a nice gorilla grip on there. That jimping on the back for the front flipper will help with a little bit of grip for finer cutting. And because of its shape, it's a pretty neutral handle, meaning there's no finger grooves or hand shape to it. It's pretty much straight on each side. So any way you decide to grip it, it's going to feel the same. I don't really feel that pocket clip all that much. I mean, I know it's there, but it doesn't feel awkward or irritating in any way. That beveling on the back is nice and smooth. Very elegant looking knife. Again, like I said, a very dressy looking knife. Very similar to the Squidward. If you've seen the Squidward, I should have a video up on that one soon, if not already. But here's the Squidward. Also a front flipper. This one, as far as I know, is still available from Amazon. So you can compare the two. And I just noticed in comparing the two, I don't see a lanyard hole on this one. They're both liner locked, so you can see how the liners differ. And that's what I mean by nested. There's a little cutout on this side. And this is what I was talking about, the difference in the pocket clip. Now, the Squidward has a much deeper pocket clip, but the overall size of the pocket clip on the Vanguard is much smaller much slimmer and much sleeker looking. There you go on this one. A comparison in the back. Again, this one does have a small back spacer. I can say this one would probably look more like a pen in your shirt pocket because of this type of pocket clip. Not as much jimping on the back as in the Squidward, but a much nicer feeling on the back of the blade due to that beveling. I'll put that one away. Bye-bye, Squidward. Now, with the blade in the open position, I'm not feeling any movement whatsoever on the blade. There's no movement up or down, no movement left or right. Again, that liner is nested in there perfectly. So I have no doubt that'll help keep it nice and safely locked. My only real gripe about this, but I see this in a lot of liner lock knives, is where that liner lock is, in this case, almost flush. I mean, you can barely see it behind the scale. And that's because I think I'm tilting it more towards the camera. And because of that, I end up having to use my nail to push that liner lock out of the way in order to close the knife. It's not the biggest deal in the world, but it would have been nice to have a little relief cut around there, kind of like you can see. Again, I'm going to pull the Squidward out again, where they had a nice relief cut into the side, as you can see here, and that allows me to go ahead and unlock or actuate that liner lock without having to use my nail and get in between the liner. All right, back in the case you go. But that's really probably my only gripe with this knife. Pretty minor one, because without having that cutout, while it makes it a little bit more of a chore to close up, you have to use your nail, it does keep that sleek look all along the side of this knife. Some people might find that little cutout for the liner lock to be maybe a little distracting in terms of the lines of this knife, because it is very sleek looking. Like I said, this is a pretty dressy knife. Very smooth operation out of the box. Let's see how this one cuts. Again, straight out of the box, some flimsy magazine paper, and that cut in there. That bit almost immediately, or actually it did immediately. Nice and sharp all along that edge. Let's see here. Not feeling any burrs along that side. Not feeling any burrs along that side. Nice and sharp all along. Probably even make it a bit better with a little bit of stropping. I don't even really think it needs it. And then one thing I like to do with pretty much any new knife is I will add just a little bit of pivot oil. I always do that anytime I get a new knife in. It is really smooth out of the box. It's just a little something I like to do. You never know how long a knife has been sitting around anywhere. And I like to add just a drop 1 drop on each side. That was more than enough. I'll put a affiliate link down below. I like to use the KPL. This is KPL Original. I'll put a affiliate link below for that if you're curious. And then I will work that through by just moving the blade around a little bit. And I do believe, now that I'm looking at it, oh, that was plenty of oil. It appears to be ceramic ball bearings in there. I don't know if there's ceramic, but there appears to be ball bearings in there. I would assume ceramic, just by the way it feels when I move the knife blade. And I'm not really feeling any difference after adding the oil, maybe a little bit. I mean, like I said, it was nice and smooth before I added it. This is just something kind of gives me peace of mind that I like to do with every knife that I get in. Not just Kizer, it's just literally every knife I get in. I like to add a little drop of oil to the bearings or the washers or whatever, the bushings that you have in the pivot. Another way to help protect it. Not that there should be too much to worry about since this is an S35N blade. Or did I say that right? S35VN blade. Yeah, nice and smooth. Quick to open. I'm really enjoying these front flippers. I've been looking forward to getting more front flipper knives. I don't know what it is about them. Maybe it's just the way they open. But I'm really liking it. Let me wipe some of that excess oil off because I think I put 1 drop on each side, but I think that was way more than enough. I don't put it on the table because it's literally an oil rag. And that would be putting oil all over all this nice stuff. Yeah, nice and smooth, beautifully sleek and elegant. And for a neutral handle, pretty comfortable in the hand. Pretty lightweight. This will be an awesome one to carry. And like I said, that'll go right in a shirt pocket and probably wouldn't look much different than any pen that you're carrying. Unfortunately, like I said, it doesn't appear to be available any longer. Like this one, and I'm talking specifically this model, the carbon fiber S35. Anyway, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked what you saw, please drop a like down below. And if you haven't yet, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, and that way you'll be notified of any new videos that drop as soon as I get them on. So thanks again for all your support, and hope to see you in the next video. Bye-bye.